Hey, Derek,
Yes, Summer?
I just figured before we start, I could take a look at the ad.
Don't you think you should have done that before we went on the air?
Well, I did try, but unfortunately, you ran in here right before we got on air and haven't let me see who the sponsor was all week.
Well, for a perfectly good reason.
And why is that?
I wanted to surprise you! There's no way you'll find anything wrong with these guys. Totally brand friendly. They even gave us a substantial bonus for every one of our listeners that sign up.
Okay, what is it?
Today's episode of Still Single is provided to you by Honey Lush. Honey Lush, it's great, it's grand, it's Honey Lush!
Um,
What? What problem could you possibly have with this one?
well, what is it?
Huh?
What is Honey Lush?
What? What? The brand? The sponsor?
Right, but what is it? Is it a service? Is it merchandise? What are we selling?
Well, I don't know.
We can't just advertise something we know nothing about. We don't even know what we're putting our name on and we're endorsing it. What do our listeners get when they sign up?
I'm aware there's a problem, but at least we got paid. It can't be that bad. What's with the sunglasses? It's really hard to take you seriously when you're cosplaying the entire cast of The Matrix across from me.
Sorry, but I have to keep them on.
Okay, Valentina. But seriously, the rockstar attitude ends now. Don't make me call your parents and Papa Cosmo.
Oh my god, fine. And don't ever call him that, ever. I'll take them off.
Whoa, another black eye? I told you to stop going thrift shopping on senior day. You get into a fight with an old lady every time, and is the discount ever worth it?
Enough with the one-liners. The discount is always worth it, but that's not how I got this black eye.
Oh, hold on. I know this is gonna be good, but before I forget.
I'm single. Will someone please find me a date? I'm still single, so someone please find me a date.
Welcome back to the hit show Still Single. I'm Derek, the guy who needs a blood transfusion every time I get an erection.
And I'm Summer.
Oh, well, we're grumpy today. So how did you get that shiner, Summer? Oh, come on. Our viewers have never known you to be shy.
I punched myself in the face on accident.
I know you always talk about liking it rough, but...
It was an accident. You know what? I don't need to explain myself. You. Who did you try to date this week? Or do, or whatever?
Well, things have been going pretty strong with Angela.
Angela? I don't think you mentioned her.
Well, we've known each other ever since I could remember. It wasn't until middle school that we started getting really close. She opened up my eyes and showed me how to do things I never thought were possible. I once tried to do a threesome with her sister, Angelica, but things got really messy. We've never really been a couple, but she's always been there for me. After every breakup, when I'm feeling lonely, or in the bathroom at work, she's just there for me. It wasn't until now that I realized how special she really was.
Wait, are you talking about your hand?
Yes, and we're in love.
Angela, you need some serious professional help, dude.
Hey, I know you're lonely,
I'm not. I'm fine.
but don't beat yourself up over it.
Oh my god, stop.
Hey, Summer. Don't get mad at me. It's like they always say, you are your own worst enemy.
Shut up.
Oh, you should have turned the other cheek.
Oh my god.
Oh, you should be careful. You should have gotten your revenge. An eye for an eye, Summer. You would have had two black eyes. A matching set. Oh, okay, I'ma stop. Oh, I gotta stop. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Good.
So, what did you get up to?
Have you ever tried dating with a language barrier?
A couple times, yeah. Meet a girl on the internet. She asked me to buy plane tickets. She visits for a bit, but there was a miscommunication and she thought she could bring her mom and sisters and uncle and stepdad because her dad's in prison and neighbors. And I'd help them build a life here. They ask you to take them goat shopping, but you can't because you aren't allowed pets in your apartment. And it's not that you're trying to be difficult. You want to be accommodating, so you start looking at farms, but you can't afford it on your radio show host salary. So you try to communicate that to the mom, but there's got to be a language barrier, so she hexes you because she thinks you just don't want to get her the goat. So things get awkward, and she ultimately chooses to move back to her home country and cut ties with me completely. And then a year later, I see her on an episode of 90 Day Fiancé, trying to trap some sad middle-aged white guy who lives in his mom's basement and glues the backpack onto action figures for a living. And it makes you think. There can't be that many action figures that need backpacks, so he can't possibly make that good money. And maybe if you open a TFSA, you could buy her that wedding dress she really wants instead of wearing her grandmother's funeral dress. And then it gets me thinking, if I had just put in the effort to learn the language and used that coupon I found in the back of the Costco catalog for Russian lessons. But then you curse yourself because you took German in high school instead of Russian. And so now when you try on Duolingo, you keep mixing the two up. But how could you have known that ultimately you would have had more use of Russian when you were 14? But you didn't because that's when you went through that weird phase where you were convinced you were going to be a Lego engineer. And you needed German to do the interview. So you took it instead of Russian, even though you had the space in your schedule, but you wanted the free period because you and the guys would do parkour in the parking lot. But if you had just given up the free period, you wouldn't have broken your femur. And maybe we would have had that happy fairy tale ending with a little budgeting. We could have supported her mom and her sisters. Fuck those neighbors. They kept asking me for money for diabetes medication because ultimately I cared about her a lot and she seemed to care about me and they were really just in search of a better life. But I didn't take those chances and now I have to watch her on like 6 different TLC spinoffs suffering through the bullshit of a pathetic man-child and his overbearing mother wishing I was brave enough to take the chance to fall in love with her. I miss you, Bianca.
Wait, no. Maybe it's not a language barrier. He's deaf. So we've been trying to communicate in sign language.
And you don't speak sign language.
I did a quick crash course, but I really have to focus on his hands, and it usually takes me a second to translate, which really takes me out of the whole thing.
But he's really hot, so it's worth it.
So hot, so worth it. But the other night we were hooking up, and, well, he has to use his hands, which makes things complicated. I couldn't tell when he was trying to sign something or just trying to touch my boobs. Things started getting kind of hot and heavy, and I wanted to turn off the light because, well, I'm self-conscious. But if we do that, I can't see what he's saying.
Yeah, in that case, maybe it would have been better if he was blind.
I don't get to choose what disability he has, Derek. So I turn off the lights, but as I'm pulling off my sweater, my head gets stuck and I keep trying to get him to help, but it's dark. And I don't think he realized. So my fight or flight skills kicked in and I realized I have to get out of this myself. But then I feel his hand. So I'm signaling and signing frantically, and I realize if I do this with enough vigor, maybe he'll see. I'm doing it so passionately, I forget how close my hand is to my face, and well, I got myself in the eye.
How romantic. When do I get to meet him?
Well, normally you wouldn't.
But since I can't sign...
I'll think about it, but I want to wait until my black eye goes away. And it's so much easier talking to him over text.
Well, I'm happy for you then.
Wait, is that it? That's our show?
I guess. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it today.
Don't hate me for saying this, but I guess Angela isn't exactly a replacement for Bianca, huh?
How dare you! Do you want 2 black eyes?
Sorry. Do you want to cyberbully that 90 Day Fiancé guy? They have to make all their social media public so that they can promote the show.
I do, but he blocked me a while ago.
That's okay. We'll do it on my phone. Does that sound good?
A little, yeah.
Great. We can even order some ice cream because my eye is starting to swell up again.
Do I get to pick the place?
No, I'm fine if we order from 2 places.
You're never willing to try new foods.
I'm always willing to try. I am a total trisexual. I just prefer ice cream without squid ink.
Dumkoff.
Anyway, today's episode is brought to you by Honey Lush. Wait, let's just look them up.
It's fine. Let's just wrap up the episode.
No, Derek, I want to know. Holy shit! What?
What?
Honey Lush, International Nuclear Arms Transport Company. How? How did you make this big of a mistake?
I feel like you're blowing this out of proportion. No need to explode. We're in trouble, aren't we?
We cannot endorse this. Oh my god, how did you make a deal with them?
Just think of it this way. Nuclear weapons are super expensive, and we get commission for every one they sell to our listeners. Think of how rich we'll be. We'll be as rich as Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest is not an arms dealer. For those of you listening, Still Single is not in association with Honey Lush. Please disregard any endorsement of them on this show. Still Single will not cover or condone any purchases made with Honey Lush.
Well, I hope this airtime is coming out of your pocket then.
We need to go to the FBI or something. I just don't understand how they found you.
They were just in our email. You know where they're like, hey, something terrible happened. I need you to wire me $500 and then I can centuple your investment.
We lost money on this? You sent them money?
Oh, for Christ. Do you need me to explain this in sign language? Do you know what an investment is?
Okay, get your coat. We have to go down to the police station.
But what about the ice cream?
You don't deserve ice cream.
Well, thank you for tuning into this episode of Still Single. I'm Derek, and that's Summer. Thank you, Honey Lush, for sponsoring this episode.
No!
Well, I don't know how to end this episode without that part.